Welcome to the Home Services Success Stories podcast powered by Peakzi, the number one AI platform for growing your home services business. I'm Julian Placino, your host, and we have another great show in store for you today. And today we have Ryan Fenn, who is the founder and CEO of Chiirp. Ryan, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you, Julian. I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, really excited to learn more about the business and how Peaksy can collaborate together. So let's kind of jump in. So, Ryan, tell us a bit more about Chirp and what was the problem you sought to solve with the business?
Well, I'm a sales guy at heart. I'm a scrappy entrepreneur. I didn't finish high school. I don't have any degrees to speak of. I just like to sell stuff. And I, I initially, so it goes back quite a ways, but I used to run my first like successful business was a windshield repair business. And I would sell windshield repair door to door. And then I sold it at gas stations and dealerships, and grew that business to be pretty successful. And then I got the idea in 2014 to start a course, an online course, how to start your own windshield repair business. And I could I started to learn how to generate leads using Facebook ads, using doing different job postings and things like that. And I would get Facebook lead ads for very cheap. I would get leads coming in very cheap, but I couldn't close them. They were too what we call top of funnel in marketing, right? And I really was frustrated because I saw this huge opportunity because I could get leads, but I couldn't bridge that gap between leads and deals, right? How do you close that gap between somebody raising their hand and then saying, "Shut up, take my money," right? And so I, didn't give up, just kept trying to figure it out. And I learned that if I texted the leads very, very quickly, within about a minute of them submitting their information, I would get a high response rate. And then from there, I started to chip away at this funnel. What was the first point of contact? What did they need to hear? What sort of education did they need to make a decision? And that follow up process, that drip process that would take somebody from not knowing who I was to willing to give me $3,000 was what I developed, kind of duct taping together this thing. And that's really how Chirp was born. Was discovering how to close the gap between lead and sale. And I wasn't initially, I didn't build it initially for home services. Because with that course, I did about $2 million. We helped about 1,000 people start their own business, and then I said, I think this process, this sales process, this dripping follow up nurturing process is very powerful, and so I developed Chirp. And it wasn't initially home services. It was just anybody and everybody that would buy it, right? And we struggled for a few years to kind of find what we call product market fit.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until some home service guys came along and started using it and started saying, "Hey, what if we did this with House Call Pro? What if we did this with Service Titan? What if we did," and these various things? And I started to discover that there were so many holes in the customer journey of home service that could be plugged, that could be fixed. And so we started on this path of plugging these revenue leaks in home services businesses. And now we've helped the biggest home service companies in the country make hundreds of millions of dollars by closing these holes in their business. So that's about 15 years in about 5 minutes. So
First off, that's fascinating. So you kind of learned through the best practices of your own business, a kind of a method or a system that was first a manual process, and then you turned it into like a course or training or whatnot. And then now ultimately it is software that
that's
can scale and people can use to plug in the holes of the revenue generating system. And it seems like you found like this really cool sweet spot, like in home services that really needs this kind of thing. So what exactly is the product now? Is it a like it's a platform, it's a system? What exactly do people get?
It's a platform.
Hmm.
It's software, and then it's also, so we sell software, but we also include with that a coach and then our playbooks. And so you basically have a system of follow up. We never want to be the company that just says, here's some cool software that we built. Good luck.
Hmm.
We've developed a really cool process throughout each stage of the customer journey, where it's the beginning of lead conversion, estimate rehash, customer loyalty, these three playbooks that show you where are the holes in your business, where are customers dropping out of the funnel, and what can we do to plug that. And then we help you implement these tools with AI to make sure that you are, following up perfectly at every stage of the customer journey.
Nice. Okay. So who would you say, you said you didn't necessarily start it for home services, but who is your ideal customer now for the product?
So most companies that I mean, we have companies all the way up to, four or $500 million in revenue,
Hmm.
all the way down to the scrappy, $1 million operators. We love all of them. Where people tend to find the most value is kind of in that $3 to $20 million range,
Hmm.
where you have revenue and you're starting to kind of run on that treadmill of, dang, I'm making a lot of money, but I'm not taking home a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so we start to, we've all heard it a million times. The fortune is in the follow up. It's a cliche at this point, right? But I don't think people are really quite understanding that the fortune quite literally is in the follow up. If the market has anything to say about our business, it's going to drive it to the point. If I'm making $10 million a year, everything's going to adjust to make sure that my profit gets squeezed out of that $10 million, right? And it's going to cost me $10 million to make $10 million. And what companies aren't doing is they're not squeezing everything they possibly can out of their marketing. What they're doing is they're going, oh, I just need more leads. I need more leads. I need more leads. And they're not doing everything they can to convert the ones they already have. And so if you want to close that gap, we talk about like Gettle, for example. Gettle's a big company. And you would think, they're known for being technology forward. They're known for having really good follow up processes. And we were able to step into their business, and in just the first 2 months found $1 million that they would have lost through their existing processes. And so that gap you're looking for, that profit gap that you're looking for, oftentimes lies in that follow up.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so much there. So let's talk about Peakzi and also Chirp. So how did you first hear about Peakzi and how do you see Peakzi and Chirp working together?
Well, Justin, my partnership guy, he's always looking for, opportunities for us. We're a partner driven company. We only until recently we didn't run any kind of paid advertising. We're starting to supplement our funnel with paid advertising now, but most of our inbound, or most of our new customers come from partnerships like the one between you and I. And we find synergies. We look for companies where we can find synergy. And in your case, you're on the part of the customer journey where you're developing or generating a lead, right? And we always look for that because we go, hey, if these guys are generating a lead, one of the biggest problems that anybody that generates leads always has is the customer who doesn't have good processes in place to capture opportunity and actually turn those leads into a deal.
Mm.
We'll often look at a company like Peakzi and say, "Hey, Peakzi, your leads suck," and Peakzi comes back and goes, "Well, no, you suck." You just suck at closing deals, right? And it's the same for any like Angie lead, anybody that's in the lead generation space understands this. And you get these operators that like to play victim and say, "Oh, those leads suck. I'm going to go over here. Those leads suck." And the operators that actually make money understand that a raised hand is not a deal. That's an opportunity. And if they have the ability to actually capture that opportunity and close deals, those are the winners. And so when I look at something like Peakzi and go, oh, cool, these guys generate leads, I want to make their experience for the contractor better. So now they're going to go, I love those leads from Peakzi because they're closing and they're putting systems in place that actually turn those leads into deals. And so it's kind of like peanut butter and jelly, right? Where it's like, hey, we just work well together. I'm not in the lead generation space. I've
Mhm.
generated hundreds of thousands of leads myself, but it's kind of I found my fortune in the follow up, and
Yeah.
I like partnering with companies that are out in the front lines generating the leads, and then we help make sure that it's a good experience.
Perfectly makes sense now. So, of course, Peaksy specializes in AI visibility and also generating leads, and then you specialize in conversion. Just so I'm clear on the product, for the Chirp product itself, is there a person that closes it, or it's a system that closes it?
Well, it's a system that makes sure that the opportunity stays hot so that a human can close the deal,
Got
right?
it. Okay.
So a lead, for example, speed to lead, right? Let's say you generate a lead, and we'll use any example, Angie leads, Thumbtack, whatever. Somebody's raising their hand and saying, I'm interested in your product or service. If we don't contact that lead, like I said earlier, in 1 minute, our chances of converting that lead drops by half by minute two, and then by 4 times by minute five. And so we're seeing major drop off in lead conversion in that first 5 minutes. And if people are just going to sit there and try to call the lead the moment it comes in, they can't keep up with that, especially as they scale. And so we supplement the human being by putting in automation to contact the leads within that first minute. We can send a text message within 60 seconds to start an AI conversation. And that supplements that 5 minutes. And we think, oh, it's only 5 minutes. Like I said, that 5 minutes is everything when it comes to lead conversion. And so we stay on top of those, and then we consistently follow up with the ones that don't actually convert at the beginning. And what's really, really important in that point is not just how often or how many times you follow up, it's the words that you're saying, the things that you're doing, the cadence, and the type of the level of aggression that you use in your sales process. There should be a level of of urgency and aggression in your follow up to maximize conversion. And what's really exciting for us right now is, over the last 7 years, I've been sending text messages through our system. We've sent about 450 million text messages through the Chirp platform. And I didn't really know what to do with that data. I have 450 million text messages and conversations sitting in a database. And I knew it was of value, but I didn't know how. And it wasn't until AI came out where now we can take AI and have it read through those 450 million text messages and get pattern and see patterns. What's converting? What words convert? What's killing your business, right? Like one of the ones that shocked me recently was the best time we discovered that the best time to send an estimate follow-up text message is between 7 and 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. Like
Interesting.
I never would have been able to, you know that without AI reading through our database and understanding that. So it's a matter of learning what to say, when to say it, how often to say it, through that follow-up process. So, yeah.
Got it. Makes sense now. Okay. So for the context of this podcast, Chirp essentially helps home services leaders maximize the potential to close the leads that they're already getting.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And that's where it makes sense where Peaksy comes in because we specialize, of course, in AI visibility and lead generation. So let me ask you this then, understanding the landscape of just how people are searching for information. Of course, this is Peaksy's specialty, but what do you think is the importance of AI visibility now and in the future?
Well, I always talk about the importance of words in your business. I'll go back to a time in the gas station when I was selling windshield repair, right? What I would do is as people would come into the gas stations, I would offer to wash their windshields. And when I first started doing it, I would ask them, I would say, "Can I wash, hi, welcome to Chevron. Can I wash your windshield?" And about 9 out of 10 would say no. Okay. And then I learned, so if I saw 100 cars in a day, I had to make money out of 10 cars because only 10 would let me wash their windshield. And that was my way of finding, damaged windshields that I could offer my service to. And so I had to make my money off of 10. I switched my wording just slightly. I said, as cars came in, I said, "Welcome to Chevron. As a courtesy today, we're washing everybody's windshields." And this created a feeling in the customer. The feeling was, oh, if everybody's doing it, I want to do it. FOMO, right? I don't want to miss out on a free little thing. And now I went from 9 people saying yes, excuse me, 9 people saying no to 9 people saying yes. So now if I saw 100 cars, I had 90 opportunities instead of 10. And so I kind of talk about that because the words we use in our business unlock opportunity or they shut things down. Now, when you say AI, what's the importance of getting in AI? Now, the people who built AI understand this. Julian, have you ever searched on chat and had it be mean to you?
Had it be mean to me?
Yeah.
I use it all
Just
the time.
is
I
it
haven't had
mean
that
or is
experience.
it
It kind of validates the things that you're sort of searching sometimes.
it's
Yeah.
it's very nice to you.
Yeah, yeah.
It causes feelings inside of you. It
Mhm.
validates what you say. They understand the importance of words. Google, you search Google and it gives you data, right?
Mhm.
You search chat, it creates a feeling. And you create it creates an alliance in this feeling of like, hey, this is my friend. This is my buddy telling me what to do. So imagine how powerful that is if your business is in there and that person trusts that person, excuse me, that AI,
Mhm.
much higher trust level because of the words that it's using. Now, when you pop up, not only are you popping up in AI, you're popping up with a few words in there that validate you and make you feel good, right? And that is everything. It's the difference between 10 people saying yes to 90 people saying yes. When you have that little extra, you know how it is, like very insightful, Julian. You're on to something here. Let me break this down for you. Your best option is this, this, and this. That alone, that little extra bit is going to give you enough confidence. And so the people that are winning in AI and having AI recommend your business, they're going to be they're going to be cashing in big.
Ryan, you just went deep there. You just like made a new wrinkle in my brain for a couple things. Because yes, of course, the visibility is one, but also like you actually get an experience from these systems that you're getting information from, where Google is kind of like cold, sort of objective. These LLMs like make a recommendation, like give you an
Hmm.
emotion,
Hmm.
make like more trusted,
That's right.
therefore reinforcing the importance of AI visibility. Because like if you're a home services leader, you want your information to come through these LLMs to the people because of this experience it's delivering to them. That was pretty sweet. Awesome. Okay. Well, Ryan, what else do you think about when it comes to working with Peakzi, your excitement for partnering with Peakzi, and anything else you think like you can see as a collaboration between the two?
Well, I love it because I think that's the future of lead generation.
Hmm.
um People are, I mean, you can't even, the moment you have grandparents talking about stuff in technology, something's, it's penetrated, right? Like I've grandparents that are talking about AI and how they're using AI. It's like, wow, AI has penetrated to the point where, you know, uh, like I'll give you an example. My dad, he's been building custom homes his entire life. He's built hundreds and hundreds of beautiful custom homes. He came to me and he said, "Ryan, I want to get out of building homes. I'm getting old. I want to calm down a little bit, but I don't want to retire. He's a worker. He doesn't like, the idea of retirement is like death, right?
Hmm.
And so he said, I'm an excellent project manager and I think I could add value to Chirp. And I said, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to sit down with ChatGPT and over the next month, you're going to have it train you to go from project manager of construction to project manager of software. You're going to have it help you bridge that gap.
Mhm.
So he sits down and I say, you're going to type in and you're going to say, I'm David Fenn. I've done this and this my entire life. This is all of my background. This is everything I've done. This is all that I've learned. I'm trying to make this change. Help me through this process. And over a month time, he became a software project manager. He reinvented himself and
Wow.
he's adding a ton of value to what we're doing at Chirp, a ton of value. And if somebody can reinvent them, if somebody can use this tool to reinvent themselves, if you're smart, and I think pretty soon, everybody is going to be using it to become superhumans. And what that means for you as somebody who can help companies gain visibility within this platform
Mhm.
goes back to the trust thing. The trust, people do business with who they know, like, and trust, right? And so if they trust chat and chat is telling them to use your home service business, there's problem number one. We've gained their trust. Boom. Now we move into the next phase, is actually fulfillment, right? They trust us now. Now we've got to show that they can work. So now they're going to submit their information. They're going to call or whatever it is to get to the lead is generated. Now Chirp is going to supplement you to make sure that you fill in the gaps and that trust is maintained through the process until lead is converted into a job, an actual job. And so we're going all the way from I have never heard of this company to I'm never going anywhere else using AI through the whole process.
Wow. Love it. Super excited that we've have been able to connect and work on this partnership because I definitely see it working together very, very well. Ryan, let's touch a bit about your perspective of AI in the future of home services. Okay, so where do you see the home services industry heading over the next 3 to 5 years, would you say?
So this is a very like loaded question. There's a lot of anxiety around AI and around these things, and I want to make sure that I'm very clear that I'm actually fundamentally somewhat anti-AI, but I also understand that it's not going anywhere, and so in order to compete, it's a necessary thing. But I think it's a mindset shift for companies to think in terms of like I look at like these Silicon Valley type companies, these guys that are, venture backed that are just AI, 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 AI. And it's like they're sitting in their rooms just going, "How do I take somebody's job away today?" Right? It's like they have this like sort of like I don't know, it's this weird mindset. And for me, the mindset shift is instead of going, "How can I use AI so I can fire more people?" Um, my mindset is how can I use AI so I can hire more people
Hmm.
and make them superhumans. And so I want to make sure that people understand I'm not trying to replace the human in the customer journey. I'm attempting to turn the humans within the customer journey into superhumans and allow them to accomplish a lot more with less time. And so the goal isn't to that the person has zero human interaction. And I'll drill down on this. This is kind of a subject that's really touching a nerve for me because I think it's very important. I believe we're solving for a lot of the wrong things. Technology is solving for a lot of the wrong things. And I'll give you an example. How old are you, Julian, if you don't mind me asking?
43.
40, me too. Okay. So you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here.
Mhm.
When I was little, we would go, and you know the same, we would go to Blockbuster and rent videos, right?
Mhm.
And we would go into the store either with a family or with a date or with your buddies on the weekend, whatever it was. You'd go into the store, you'd walk around for like a half an hour, you'd look at different movies, you guys would argue a little bit about what to watch. There was kind of this social interaction going on. Finally, you would settle on a movie and there was always one or two people in the group that was like, "Oh, fine, whatever," and there's and then it's like, "Oh, cool, there's some candy here, there's some treats, let's get that." And then you'd go home and you'd watch the movie, and if you didn't like the movie, too bad. That's your movie. Like that's the movie you're watching, and that's your night. And Netflix saw this and they said, "Oh, you want movies? Well, we can get you movies, no problem. Like, sure, here's movies. Like, let's delete this whole process and make getting the movie easy." And in my opinion, that's not the problem we were facing. We eliminated the fun part of it. We eliminated
Mm.
the human interaction that was happening. And now we don't even appreciate movies like we used to. We just sit and go, if the first 10 minutes of the movie sucks, we just go, oh, let's just pick another one. Let's pick another one, pick another. And then there's no human friction. There's
Mm.
no arguing of what movie to watch. There's no there's not that moment of creating the memory of going out and doing that thing. And I think that technology is trying to solve a lot of these problems. Like, oh, you need home services? Cool, I can get you home services, no problem. And if a home service company can recognize that and say, you know what, we do obviously provide the service, but there's a human interaction that
Mm.
people really appreciate and really understand. I think those are going to be the people that win. And so if you supplement AI and help your humans communicate better and not completely try to delete the human experience, then I think you're going to do better than if you just go, I'm looking to fire everybody and run a completely autonomous business that has no human interaction. So
Man, Ryan, again, the themes that you're hitting on, they seem to be transcending just the AI conversation, right? But also like the blockbuster experience. For me, what it brought back was like there's so much intimacy involved in that whole
yes,
thing. It's kind of like when Stephen Covey talks about the difference between being efficient versus effective, right? And all that makes so much sense. And you actually answered the question already that I was going to ask, which is what's going to separate these home services, companies and not failing to meet the human requirement, I think
right.
is of course going to be a really big key. So, okay. Well, if speaking to our audience who are owners of roofing companies, of plumbing companies, HVAC, what do you think is the future? Is it more about generating leads? Is it about converting them? Is it a mix of both? What do you think that is?
Well, I think it's relationships, and I
Mm.
think it's definitely obviously competing on a very high level for lead generation, but then also creating a long term relationship with customers, so that we don't just fall into a commoditized, empty sea of just click here and this thing is done, and this goes back to one of the lessons I learned early on. I used to do stand-up comedy 20 something years ago,
Get out
and
of town.
I was hanging out one night with Pauly Shore, if you're familiar with Pauly Shore.
Of course.
Pauly Shore, he's a crazy, like he's just as crazy in real life, but we were sitting there and I said, "Hey, I'm a comedian. I'm up and coming. Can you tell me something that would be like helpful?" And he goes, "Yeah, nobody cares about your jokes until they care about you." And then he said, "What I mean by that is I can tell an airplane food joke, a generic joke, and people will laugh. But if you go and tell the same joke, they're not going to laugh because they don't know who you are. They don't care. And you have to start by telling jokes that are part of you. They are your story, that are unique to you. The only thing you have, and I think this is everybody should be considering this principle. The only thing you have that is unique to you is your story. If you're an HVAC guy, everybody does HVAC. If you're a plumber, everybody does plumbing, right? But the one thing they don't have is your story. And every chance you get to tell a little piece of your story along that customer journey and create a relationship will sit in people's minds and go, "Oh, I like that guy, so I'm going to do business with that guy." It's not, "I like that HVAC price, I like that service, I like whatever offer they're offering." It's, "Do I like that guy or not?" And what we do, and the way that we kind of supplement this and help companies accomplish this at scale, is during the customer journey, we're sending out short videos, short, unproduced videos of the owner. When somebody books, a video goes out in a text message. I'll use me as an example. Hey, it's Ryan with Wasatch Roofing. I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving us a shot. I fully expect that my technician is going to give you 5-star service today. If you have any questions or anything pops up, I'm here for you. I've been doing this for 15 years. This is my wife and my kids. This is my family. This is my story. A little bit about how we started the business, and just want to say thank you so much. And that little drop, that little addition to the customer journey can make the person go, "Oh, I like that guy." And then that little bit, that little feeling is, "Okay, cool. I'm going to do business with him." So the shift should be away from how do I how do I how do I sell my service better, or my features better, to how do I sell myself better, and how do I make them want to do business with me, and then they'll buy whatever I offer them.
It's really interesting, Ryan, because I think a lot of folks may categorize you into the technology or just kind of like automation kind of realm, but so much of your advice is about storytelling, human connection, that kind of thing. And man, I think that's just really, really great advice. So,
Yeah, the
yeah.
the I deliver I my system delivers words, but the important thing are the actual words,
hmm
right? And so that's what I'm really focused on. I have a system that can deliver those things for you, but you've got to know what to deliver.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, Ryan, I like to close these conversations out with just a little bit of a lightning round segment, just so folks can kind of get to know more about you. This is the storytelling piece, right?
Yep.
So, but man, tremendous conversation, and thank you so much for your time. So, let's jump into this. You weren't in home services, but you fixed windshields. So, what would you
That's
say
right.
was the funniest service call or standout moment that you had doing that kind of work?
Um, the one that popped up to my head right there was my brother. I did it with my brother,
Yeah.
right? And this brand new Escalade pulled into the gas station, and it had a chip on the windshield. And he, offers to fix it. She says yes. And now, if you're fixing windshields, you have this tiny drill. It's like almost like a dentist's drill, and you drill a tiny hole into the glass so you can inject a resin into this chip, right? And it was right in the middle of the windshield, up by the rear view mirror, so right as far away as you could get, right? And so he's up on a step stool, and he's reaching across the windshield to drill it, and it's drilling, and the steps, and he puts just the right angle onto the step stool so that it slips out from under him,
Oh no.
and he face plants onto the hood of the Escalade and drags his drill out of the hole about 2 inches across the windshield and puts a
Oh
two inch
no.
a 2 inch line. But at the same time he's doing that, he face plants and his face just crashes really hard. And I heard it, this loud thud and I look over and he's just like almost like knocked out. And she doesn't say anything like, "Are you okay?" Nothing. She just goes, "Can you fix that or not?"
Oh no. Oh
So,
man, that is
so we ended
one.
up we ended up taking a hit there, but that was pretty funny.
Well, that's one for the books for sure. Man, okay. So not that you did stand-up comedy, because that certainly qualifies for this question, but what's something about you that most people don't know about but would find really interesting and unique?
Yeah, stand up was one of the ones I would usually say in that situation, but I already gave that out. So, I speak fluently a southern dialect of the Philippines called Cebuano,
Yeah.
or Visaya is the other word. So I speak that language fluently. So that's kind of interesting.
Dude, I'm Filipino. I don't speak
Uh,
this out. I'm speak Tagalog, right? But how did you come to know the language?
I lived in Cebu for 2.5 years. I was a missionary for 2 years and then went back for 6 months. Yeah,
Get
so
out of town. That is fascinating, Ryan. Okay,
yeah.
very cool, very cool. What?
Filipino ka, di ay.
Oh, do you understand Tagalog also?
Konti lang.
Konti lang? Oh man, dude, you got some good pronunciation too. That's awesome. Ryan, what is the future of the home services industry in one word or phrase?
Relationships.
Love it, love it. And last question here for you. When all said is done, it sounds like you have had an incredible career. What is the kind of legacy that you want to leave behind, Ryan?
Kindness.
Kindness.
You
Love
can
it.
make a ton of money and also be kind. You don't have to be a anything other than kind. Let's put it that way.
Love it. Ryan, this was a tremendous conversation. Thank you for sharing everything that you've done. And I think what we just talked about really does transcend home services and AI. So it's been a lot of fun, man. Share with our viewers how to learn more about Chirp, follow you on social. Tell us all that, how to connect with you.
So we give a free revenue optimization analysis. This is my way of washing your windshield. It's my belief that in business, you have to earn the right to offer your service by offering something of value. When I did chip repair at the gas stations, I would offer to wash their windshield for free with no obligation. That was my way of earning my right to look at their windshield. Now I do a revenue optimization analysis on your business. It's a really cool AI driven thing. It's 100% free. It will show you where you can find some easy fixes in your business to make more money with the marketing you're already doing. Obviously, I will offer you ways of fixing it with Chirp, but the analysis itself is very valuable if you decide to use Chirp or not. You can use it to find these leaks in your business and make more money one way or the other. So I'd love for you to come to chirp.com. There's two I's in Chirp, so CHIIRP.com. Sign up for your revenue optimization analysis. My team will get on a call with you. It's really cool. It's interactive. It's not just like a software demo, it's interactive. Walk you through the various stages of the customer journey and where you can improve. And then again, you can take that and do whatever you want, or you can get with Chirp and we can help you make more money. So
Awesome. And we'll make sure to have all that contact information in the show notes. So, Ryan, again, a true pleasure. Thanks for being on the show.
thanks, Julian. Thanks, everybody.
And everyone else, thanks for tuning in for today's episode. That's it for today. So we'll see you next time on the next episode of the Home Services Success Stories podcast, powered by Peakzi, the #1 AI platform for growing your home services business.